Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Airing of Grievances. I'm Eric Reamer. This is Robert Grieve, and we are ever so grateful that you are here today on a Saturday morning with us. Hey, if this is your first time, welcome. And would you please give us the thumbs up, and if you don't mind, we'd love it if you could click the notification bell and the subscribe button. That lets people know, lets YouTube know that we're doing something cool here, and that they'll share it with other people. We appreciate that. If you're one of our longtime family, thanks again for coming. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you so much.
Ever so much. All right, Rob, today we've got a very interesting case study here of a, what is this, a 2015?
Yep, 2015 Subaru Forester.
Subaru Forester, all right.
And it is a touring edition.
A touring edition, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So take us on a journey, if you will. And for those of you who are watching this, obviously for the first time, I just took this journey in real life, and my head is still exploding.
You know, it's maddening, some of the stuff that's going on, and, you know, you got to ask yourself why.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're going to be asking yourself why at the end of this thing. But, you know, we're going to pull up a picture of the front of this vehicle so you can see that it's, you know, nice, decently kept Subaru.
From this angle, it looks like, hey, that's a nice little car there.
It's not bad at all.
A little something on the back there.
Yeah. So here we're looking at the fender gap. Fender to the front door on the driver's side.
All right.
And that's a proper gap. That's what it should be. And you know what? When gaps tell you things.
Yeah.
And if there's irregularity in the gaps between your doors or your fender in your door or your door in your quarter, all the rest of that stuff, it generally means what it's attached to is not where it's supposed to be.
Sure.
Or you could have a part that's, you know, no good.
Misaligned or something like that.
There's a reason why the gap isn't right. And that's a nice gap for Subaru fender. Now, this is the gap between the two doors, and you'll notice that it looks slightly different.
Not slightly, it looks hugely different. There's paint touching paint.
Yes, and it actually bent this top belt molding.
Oh, sure, I see that.
When they came together, because it doesn't go like this and stop. It goes further and then comes back and finds a resting spot.
Sure.
But yeah, that gap's a little tight. And if we go to the rear door gap, to the quarter panel, you can see again that top molding is all cattywampus, and the gap is actually, the quarter is underneath.
Underneath, it's buckled.
At the bottom,
yeah.
It's gone down underneath. This is all energy transfer, and we call this indirect damage.
By the way, we did a video many months ago on the topic of energy. I'm going to put a link to that right up here so that you can see that. But this is that video in real time.
Yeah. And then keep in mind what I just said before is this is the resting place.
Right.
It went further than that to come back to this resting place.
Sure.
So now let's take a look at the rear of the car.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my! That's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the bumpers all wrecked up. I'm. Folks, let me just tell you, I'm not a repair technician, but my untrained eye says there's something going on with the frame rails. I'm just saying, and the entire back. Door area.
It got hit pretty hard. So this is what we would call direct damage.
Yes.
The other damage that we're looking at with the gaps is indirect damage.
Got it.
Because the accident didn't hit those areas. They are a result of this damage.
Of course.
So that energy went through that car. The floor is going to be crinkled. The frame rails are going to be bent beyond being noticeable as frame rails.
Right.
We're going to take another little step around the other side of the car.
Okay.
And there's our quarter panel on the passenger side.
Oh, it's bent up there, down there, over there.
It's underneath the rear door. And you see the gap at the top.
Yeah. Glass doesn't line up.
Again, This damage right here to the quarter panel, this is indirect damage. It never hit the quarter panel. It hit all the stuff that the quarter panel is attached to and moved that way. That
quarter panel's having a bad day. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah. Big buckles in the roof rail, which, you know, you can hit that with a ball peen hammer. It's just going to bounce right off. It's so strong. But yet it was able to be buckled. So that car is squished down and in, and there's a lot of damage to this vehicle.
Huh.
That, and I'm sure that you can see that and agree. I don't think there's any question about it. And we'll just look at the driver and passenger door.
Again,
it's
paint on paint.
Yep.
Underneath a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not pretty.
No.
So.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
It's got to be a total. It's got to be a send that thing away.
Well, you know what? Coming down the street on the tow truck, we could see it was a total.
Yeah.
And yet, the insurance company...
Oh, no, you're not. No.
The insurance company told the guest, good news.
Good news?
Good news. The car is repairable. This looks like that commercial for Subaru, They Lived. It's absolutely incredible. So here is why it's always important to know a really good shop. The people that own this vehicle, upon being notified the good news that it was repairable, they started doing some digging and some research, and they called a few places, and I guess we were the last call, because they said, okay, we're sending this thing on a tow truck to you. It's the estimates insurance companies write, and we call it estimate of record, which is the first estimate, which is what they start basing the timeline and the value of the loss on.
Right.
They are, if you don't have a great insurance company, they are horribly low.
Yeah. Let's pause that for just a minute, because what you just said is really important. If they don't have a great insurance company, which, by the way, great insurance companies do exist, and if you're interested, you can check our website, nylundscollision.com, because we have started recognizing the insurance companies that are serving their insured and our guests with integrity. And so I'll put a link in the description box below, but nylundscollision.com is the website. You just click on the consumer resources.
And we're calling out these insurance companies for the way they handle claims and the way they handle the guest, and we have no contractual obligation with them whatsoever.
Right.
It's just recognizing somebody's doing a great job.
That's
and
exactly
these companies have consistently been doing a great job taking care of the guests. If you're involved with one of these insurance companies, you generally go right to the front of the line, because there's not going to be a problem getting your car repaired.
And you sleep better.
Yeah.
You sleep better at night.
So before I tell you the value that they assess this damage on, for those of you that are watching live with us, why don't you type in real quick how much you think? How much you think to repair it?
That would
because it's been deemed a repairable vehicle. So let's take a guess at what it's going to be.
If you're watching live and we're doing this Saturday morning right here, dude, just type it into the live chat. And if you're watching it after the fact, type it into the comments, and we'll give you a couple of seconds to put your entries in. Right. Oh my goodness.
All right, so here's page 1. Here's page 2.
Yeah.
And it looks like they were able to accomplish writing this estimate with 59 lines.
59 lines.
59 lines.
I saw more than 59 cracks in the paint, but okay.
Yeah, 59 lines. They are using some aftermarket parts and some junkyard parts.
Okay, so that'll lower their side of the estimate.
Yeah. So
which, by the way, here at Nylund's would never ever happen.
Yeah, we don't do that. And here we go.
You're not going to believe this.
$5,800. $5,800 to repair that vehicle. Somebody wrote an estimate from an insurance company that says this car can be repaired for $5,800. They're probably gonna, say, there might be some hidden damage.
There might be.
There might be some hidden damage that we can't see. Let's go back to the rear of this car. Yeah.
There might be some hidden damage.
Yeah, there might be some hidden damage.
Yeah, there might be
but when you see a quarter panel wrinkled up like that...
Could you fix that quarter panel for $5,800?
Not even the quarter panel.
Not even the quarter panel.
Not even the quarter panel. But when you can see that damage is there like that, and it's indirect damage, not direct damage, everything else is gone.
Rob, there's a phrase that says, even a blind squirrel can find a nut on occasion, right?
Yep.
What kind of blind squirrels are working at this insurance company to come up with an estimate like that?
And then be cheery with the guest and say, hey, congratulations, good news. Your car is repairable. What are the implications? Why would an insurance company do something like this?
Well, there's only one reason I can think of, and that is that they just don't want to pay.
And unfortunately, I'm going to add to that, there are shops that will attempt to fix this. Now, they're not going to fix it for $5,800.
No chance.
But
not even using salvage parts.
This is a 3-stage pearl that half the car needs to be painted on.
That's the paint.
The paintwork is more than $5,800. Forget about anything else.
Yeah, if you had a smooth surface all the way around the car,
and it was just wind damage, it'd be more than $5,800 just to do the paintwork. So it's important for you to do your research like these people did, and not get sucked into going someplace you don't know, and somebody attempting to... There's not even a question in anybody's mind that I've shown this vehicle to. Nobody could believe I said it's been deemed repairable.
It was a non-starter for me. There's no way.
$5,800 to repair this vehicle, and it belongs in a crusher.
All right, so buyer beware, and God forbid you should get into an accident, but if you do, it's a traumatic period of time where you're making lots of split-second decisions. And one of those first decisions that we've all been brainwashed into is to pull out our insurance card and dial the 800 number on the back side of it. But this is really important here. If you get an estimate that comes in and something just doesn't set right, like this.
Yeah, the guest knew something was wrong. How could you fix that car for $5,800?
How could you repair it for twice that? It's impossible. So do your due diligence. Find somebody that you can trust, and we stand in the gap and say we're willing to be the person that you can trust. Call us and we'll give you advice, no matter where you are.
Yeah, or who's fixing a car. We'll help you walk through any of these questions. And if you're out of state, we've already hooked up lots of people with shops out of state, and that have your best interest at heart, because that's the most important thing. Yeah. You're the consumer, and you're the person that needs to be protected along with your passengers, and this car is not a fixer. When you see that indirect damage all the way up to the front door, the floor has got to be just crumpled.
The rails, the frame rails, right, on both sides of the car.
What used to have
what right. Don't they call them crumple zones? Or
crumple zones, convolutions? It's all designed to fold.
It did what it was supposed to do, kept the people in the car safe, but you don't just like an accordion pull that thing back out. It's done.
No, they put 2 hours on here to pull the frame.
To pull the frame.
Yeah. How? And by the way, in Colorado, there's a law that says they have to write a legitimate estimate on what they can see.
This sounds to me like a claim is pending for Colorado and the Department of Insurance.
Yeah, we'll be coaching this guest on how to get through this.
That's horrible.
I just, you know what, when I see stuff that is this crazy,
yeah,
it's because it's hard to believe. It's
impossible. Got
towed in yesterday, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a goner. No, Rob, that's repairable. I'm like, what?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have questions, we're here to help.
Call us. Here's the phone number right here. And we appreciate you for watching. Rob, happy Saturday to you.
To you. Happy Saturday to you. Have an amazing week.
Yeah, safe Saturday to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Enjoy.